If someone were to ask me, out of all the skills you need in order to achieve your highest dreams, your goals, all your aspirations, if someone were to ask me what the single most important skill you need in order to achieve those goals, I'd probably say consistency over determination, over grit, over all those other things which are required and could be argued to be more important. I'd probably still say consistency. Consistency is difficult, even more difficult to stick to, because it's reliant upon the rewards and the achievements you make. You're only as consistent as the amount of rewards you're getting. If you don't see enough progress in yourself, whether it be the gym, whether it be, in your business, whatever it is, your consistency plummets because you feel like you're not making progress. I think consistency and progress are directly proportional to each other. If you're making more progress, you're going to stay more consistent. If you're making less progress, you're going to stay less consistent, and vice versa. So it's such a valuable skill, but it's hard to maintain because you need to learn how to stay consistent, all while having no positive reinforcement for your actions. You're going to have to stay consistent when you're getting nothing out of it. You're going to have to learn how to stay consistent even when you feel like you've achieved what you want to achieve. That's a harder thing to conceptualize. Having to stay consistent even when you feel like you've achieved those goals. Staying consistent out of that can even be harder than trying to stay consistent when you haven't achieved them. So today I want to talk about some practices which I do to help my consistency. Some thought processes as well, which I think would probably help you. And, just my general thoughts on what it means to be consistent, how to maintain your consistency, and, how to develop it as a skill. So, first of all, being consistent is not something you can just say you are. You can't just say you're consistent and then be consistent. Like with most things, maybe you believe in manifestation, you can manifest it into existence, but nothing like that happens unless you take action. It's like inertia. If you know what inertia is, it's like something in motion stays in motion unless something stops it being in motion. And something not in motion doesn't stay in motion unless something puts it in motion. I think that I said that wrong, but you get what I'm trying to say here, right? Now, apply that same thought process to being consistent. You're going to stay consistent if you continually be consistent. But if you're out of that routine and out of all the habits and stuff you used to do, it's going to be harder to get back into that loop of being consistent again if you've already been out of it for a certain amount of time. So the single most important metric for you to measure your consistency on is how much action are you taking? How many things have you taken action upon which are going to directly lead to you achieving your goals, directly lead to you being more consistent? And the more action you take, the easier it will be for you to be consistent. Because if you just go to the gym 5 days a week, you're going to be more likely to go to the gym the next week for another 5 days. Let's say you didn't go to the gym at all next week, you're going to be more likely to not go to the gym again the next week. But if you went, you're going to be more likely to go again. That's just how things work. So your consistency is directly relied upon by how much action you're taking. Now, this doesn't mean it's just towards the gym or anything physical. It's everything which requires you to stay consistent. If you want to achieve those higher achieving type things, you need to be taking action. You can't just rely upon things to fall into your hands, things just to fall into the place, because as much as we'd love them to, things do not work like that. As you develop, you realize you can only really rely upon yourself to take action. Nobody's going to do it for you. So once you understand that, it's actually quite freeing, because then you realize one of two things. It could kind of make you crumble in the sense that you realize, oh my days, you know, I've got complete and total freedom to do whatever I like. I've got complete and total freedom to do whatever I like. Oh my days, bro. That realization be kind of scary. But in the same sense, you have complete and total freedom. You can do whatever you like, and you can take however much action you like. So everything is completely within your control. How consistent you are is completely within your control. So taking action is the best way to remain consistent, and also the best way to get back into the consistency, you know, you were previously in. Because if you find yourself in a rut, you waste too much time trying to think out of it sometimes. Like, I used to do this a lot. I used to try and find a reason for why I shouldn't be in this rut, or a reason why I should get out of this rut that I'm in at the minute. And maybe sometimes I'd find one, but 9 times out of 10, I'd waste more time thinking of a reason to not be in that rut than actually just forcing myself out of it. Which, by forcing myself out of it, not only am I more likely to stay consistent, but I don't have to like waste time thinking. I can just get out of it, stay consistent, keep going. And by being more consistent, I get more rewards, so then it's easier for me to stay consistent, if you follow along with what I'm trying to say here. So if you can't stay consistent, you need to take action first, and then the inertia will follow. The more action you take, the harder it will be for you to stop. So you'll just keep going, and you'll get those rewards. And then by getting those rewards, it'll be easier for you to stay consistent. Another thing is, you need to have a level of accountability. That's why I love this YouTube channel and then my Instagram account and all those things, because when I post about these things, I'm being 100% authentic. And that's one thing I pride myself upon. I have to keep up with the habits, the positive traits, the things that I say. I have to keep up with these things, because that's what I'm hoping to monetize myself upon. That's what I'm hoping to build my business upon, is through my authenticity, and through the advice I give, and through building, you know, a bigger circle of people. That is what I'm gonna have to pride myself upon. So I have this level of accountability now, where I have to keep up with the habits that I say I do off of the channel. Not just here. I don't just say that I do these things. I actually do them. I actually wake up. I actually have to go to the gym consistently. I have to post consistently. I have to read. You know, I do all these things. I genuinely do, outside of me just saying them. And a big reason why I can stay consistent at those things is because I say I do. Because I know that I've got the people who watch the videos on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. I know that these people take advice from me, are inspired by me. So I have to stay consistent on these things because I have people relying on them. You know, it's my word to myself as well, which is just as important. Because if you can't even trust your own word, how can you ever expect other people to trust yours? Because that's the most important thing. You need to stay true to yourself so that you can stay consistent. Having a level of accountability is a surefire way for you to stay consistent. Maybe you don't have a channel. Maybe your accountability is different. You know, maybe you tell close friends and family that, hey, by next year, I'm going to have 10k a month. Or, you know, I'm going to have an extra 10 kilo of muscle within the next couple of years. Or whatever it is your goal is. Maybe you vocalize it to other people, and that's your level of accountability. That can be even stronger sometimes. You know, imagine you actually went up to your own mother, said in her face, and said, you know what, in 2 years' time, I'm going to be making 10,000 a month. The level of accountability that would give you could probably keep you consistent for a lifetime. You know, your word to other people and to yourself is a surefire way for you to stay consistent. So keep some accountability, vocalize it to other people as well, because, you know, if it's not enough for you to say it to yourself, then maybe you have to be a little selfless, in the sense where you need the aid of others in order for you to stay consistent. Experiment with both kinds of accountabilities. But I definitely think starting a channel, posting content, is a great thing to do as well. One of the best. When I started this channel, my confidence was quite little and I didn't really have much accountability. I still went to the gym, but not nearly as consistent as I do at the moment. You know, I'm going 6 days a week, training sometimes 2.5 hours a day, eating completely regimented, eating like completely clean, and it's not that much of it's not a hassle for me because, well, one, I've already seen the rewards before through the hard work, so I know that I'm going to get the same thing again, just more of it if I continue to do it. That's another reason why I can stay consistent. But through starting this channel is a way for me to measure consistency as well, because if I go back to my older videos, not only did I look a little more chopped, I also was a lot less confident, a lot less consistent, and through the videos I made, continually making more and more and more, my consistency went up alongside with the amount of videos I made. So that's because of my accountability and the things I had to live up to and keep doing because I said that I did. So that means, you know, not only am I true to my word, I'm consistent when the cameras are off as well. So yeah, hopefully this video can help you, maybe motivate you to stay a bit more consistent. You know, I could have made this video and just give you a bunch of like thought processes. I know I said I was going to do that at the start, but I didn't really script this video, so I kind of just went along as I was, you know, just thinking about things. But I could have just spouted a bunch of nonsense at you and just kind of hoped it would motivate you just enough to maybe stay consistent for 2 or 3 days. But there isn't a hack like that. There's no hack like that. And the only really thing you can rely upon is continually taking action and hopefully getting some reward from it. I mean, hopefully isn't the right word, because you do. It just takes a long time. So if you're willing to put yourself through long, excruciating periods of no reward while being consistent, it's going to be so easy for you to be consistent when you have those rewards. So keep that in mind. It just takes time, and remember, you're not always grinding alone. You know, there's always other people who want exactly what you want. So, you know, you've got to get it before they do. So yeah, that's everything from me. Hopefully you can take something of value from this video. And yeah, thank you for watching. And don't be a vape puffing nerd.